I slide up through coach, glancing at the seat number on my ticket. C4. Very funny, boss. You want me blown up that bad, do you? Freak. I can't help but chuckle. The intercom speakers blare into life. Good morning! Happy holidays! I part the curtain and venture into business elite, my eyes slightly ahead of me. Flight 180 will be departing LaGuardia in just a few minutes. Oh, shit. I look down fast. A soccer mom 2 seats ahead glances back at me like I'm about to pull out a box cutter. Right now, she's the least of my worries. We Sufi have a kind of prayer for times like this. No matter what the Creator hands you, be it $100 or 2 broken legs, you smile as broadly as you can and say, "Thank you, sir, may I have another?" and you laugh. Thus, the worse something gets, the more important it becomes to deflect it. But, my God, if the man, if such he can be termed, who I was hired to find in Innsmouth and kill is seated right beside me on this plane? I committed the photograph to memory before I rolled a hashish spliff with it and smoked it to the head. This is a spot-on match. This is a practical joke. This is going to be a long flight. I smile, grit my teeth, and sit down, trying not to look at him. But to hear him slurp and slobber over that sushi box, sucking on his mucilaginous, webby fingers, a green rill of wasabi winding its way down his vestigial chin, my mind spools out its quiet dossier, calming my restless hands that want to make my shoelaces into garrots. Reverend Irving Waite, in the name of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful. The false prophet I have been promised $10 million, half up front, and flown all the way from Oakland to smear from the skin of space and time. You can hear about something until the teller is blue in the face, but seeing it sit beside you is another matter entirely. He looks something like the jazz singer Mel Torme, if Mel were to commission a bust of himself as a horror movie latex appliance by Tom Savini. As the Marines say, he stinks like low tide took a shit in his pants. And then there's the reaction time thing. Lovely dinner company. I have been charged to end this creature. At present, I must somehow summon up the ingenuity to sit still for a 2+ hour flight and act as though I had no idea who he was. I shove my bag under the seat and give up. "How's the sushi?" I say. In my head, I'm humming an old family chant to harmonize body functions. My sense of smell cycles down to almost nothing. Waite's long, peeling head swivels like a newt's. His eyes are all wrong. I knew an autistic kid once in Jerusalem, a beggar's son, whose eyes were almost that shade of gold. But the cataracts in Waite's eyes, or whatever they really are, make the effect somehow more alarming. The tail of a shrimp hangs from his thick lower lip until he sees me looking and snaps it back. Most people would assume the black patches are squamous melanoma, flaking and coruscating at the sides of his wattled neck. Said neck, like his head, is home to alarmingly random patches of scraggly, nicotine-colored hair. Anyone would think the Reverend was taking chemotherapy. I know better. He's getting ready to go join the eternal family reunion out on Devil Reef. He's getting ready to grow gills and use them. Heh, he's getting ready to clot. The Rev rumbles back in a voice like a shovel over wet cement. Tastes 2 days old. I could get better than this at home. His metabolism's probably so slowed down by now that he took this long to register my presence. That's an article of his faith, too, you see. With immortality comes ichthytic serenity, and thus their human shells are swallowed in Devonian slime. I smile and nod. I'll bet you could, I say. The conversation is left dangling. To the left of us, in C2, some punk kid is asleep with his shaven head against the window, blocking the view. He's dressed fairly nicely for his sort, in an all-black suit with no tie, a rack of hoop earrings, and a stud in either nostril. He looks exhausted. A crew-cut flight attendant, who looks and swishes alarmingly like Dr. Smith in the old Lost in Space show, pops up. Would you care for a beverage after we get rolling? Green tea, no sugar. Very good, Mr. Sabah. He blinks at Waite. And we'll bring your clam juice for you too, Reverend. I'll check on him, he jerks a thumb at Punk Boy, later. Behind and above us, the tastefully concealed speakers drone on. Please discontinue the use of all cell phones during the taxi period. Flight attendants cross-check and I'll call, please. Wade pushes his sushi box aside. Dr. Smith twinkles it away and flips the old bastard's tray table up for him, trying not to make a face at Waite's personal B.O. of fish and unknown precious metals. He does well, very professional. Okay, the Reverend replies too late. Dr. Smith is long gone. Reverend, I think, shuddering in the leather seat as we begin to taxi, and the pilot tells us over the loudspeakers that we will be first in line for takeoff. Reverend of what, a shithouse? I have a whole file cabinet on this fool. He's the titular head of the esoteric order of Dagon. No Union lobsterman or fisherman on that part of the coast will hear a word spoken against him. His kooky theosophical crossbreeding of Aleister Crowley and L. Ron Hubbard has cranked his books to the top of the New York Times bestseller list for weeks on end. Until very recently, his arena revivals packed in the faithful deeper than the wildest dreams of Billy Graham. But Waite isn't on the revival circuit anymore. He looks like hell in a bunt pan. I wonder about his game plan. My employer in Oakland, Mr. Thotep, if you please, is exactly right. Now's the perfect time to strike, before Waite passes on the racket that he's apparently running by remote control these days. 2 rows behind us, a baby is crying very loudly. Something tells me again that I'm in for a long flight. I could sit still for days if that's what it takes. I have, in the cold plains of Kyrgyzstan and outer Mongolia and the nearly nameless nightmare countries close to the top of the world, teasing my kills, waiting out every Carinthia. But give me a chance when we land, and Waite will be going to that great big fish hatchery in the sky. I look out the window at the obscenely gibbous moon over the desolate hubbub of Ground Zero, where the World Trade Center towers were, as we ascend above the pollution in the clouds. As always when I see that dry socket in the earth, I do my level best to cry, though the actual act is, in my case, impossible, and beg Allah's forgiveness upon us all. I haven't been able to cry since my last op in Afghanistan. My tears are on the inside. From somewhere, in-flight Muzak blithely murders the entire Dave Matthews Band. I unfold the little screen from my armrest, find my remote, turn it sideways, punch a few buttons, and wait for in-flight Tetris to download, trying not to think about the thing in the seat beside me. In the name of all that is holy, why isn't Waite on a private jet? He could afford a fleet of Lears with the donations from his crusades, and oh, how apropos the latter word is. I could snap his neck right now. But Innsmouth folk are quite hard to kill by ordinary means. It would take several tries and attract too much notice. Do I speak from experience? I wish I didn't. What are the chances that he'd be flying on Christmas, anyway? I'd thought to get a leg up, slip into Innsmouth on Greyhound under cover of night, and get this over with. I could be in the Caymans the next morning smoking ganja on the beach, but Allah has more in store for me than the easy road. At the front of the cabin, the screen now glows with a brown and green map of our journey. The speakers win John once more. "This is your captain speaking. We have leveled off at 37,000 feet. Winds are at 10 miles an hour. Visibility is moderate to low with overcast skies and low cloud cover. We will be arriving in Boston in approximately 2 hours' time. Please enjoy your flight. Happy holidays." Dr. Smith bobs up from the forward flight attendants area, pushing a cart. I set Tetris on level 10, wait again, and bow over the steaming blue earthen mug of tea he hands me. Thankfully, I can't smell the clam juice he sets before wait, professionally folding the Reverend's tray table down once more and placing the cup there in one quick move. Bleh. The kid in C2 is awake now. His voice is a throaty rasp. "Excuse me, boss. Next time you come by, could I get a cup of coffee?" Dr. Smith nods immediately. "We've got French roast, cappuccino, and..." The kid grins an endearing, crooked grin. "Black in a cup." Dr. Smith nods briskly and retreats to the next row. The kid shakes his head. "Well, you can't beat this. They just shoved me in first class. Gotta love Priceline." "Ah." I sip my tea, flip the screen down into my armrest, and turn it off with the remote. Conversation is always preferable on a long flight. "The luck of the draw," I say. "Why are you flying on Christmas?" The kid shrugs. "Why not?" That's fair, but I'm bored and cautious. "Were you in the military?" His hair has the look of being perpetually cut short by choice. I surmise that we could swap soldier stories the entire flight. "Nah, they wouldn't take me." He slapped his knee. "Game leg and 4F. You?" "A bit. Not in America, though." Waite is looking at the kid as if he wonders how he might taste.